Sorry for interrupting. Hal, can you see if I can hear you now?
Yes, hello, it is I.
Hey, happy birthday. Good to hear your voice.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so what does Augment with Holly do?
Okay, so that is us at season 2, episode 27, or session number 65, depending on how you're keeping track. And
we're getting closer to the nice number.
and as usual, we are always having technical interesting difficulties as we set up and try to get recordings done, as you can tell by checking to see if we can actually hear each other.
Holy shit. I just looked at Augment with Holly.
This is role-playing games in the 21st century now.
So does Flogger and Bolt actually attacks affect spirits as well? Or do they need to do something weird?
There's a difference between affecting a manifesting spirit and an astral spirit. Most people can't affect the astral creatures.
Cool. Okay, if we run into spirits, I am buffing everybody. I'll even buff the cybernetic idiot. Mind you, he'll freak out because they then get the ability to perceive spirits without having the issue of astral attacks on them.
So, at the table today we have Ross.
Yes, I play Womp, who has completely changed and has now worked out that he can buff the crap out of everybody with new abilities that unfortunately he can't affect on himself. Which I would really like to do this to myself.
But the abilities are looking better, aren't they?
Yeah. I can not at the moment do Super Saiyan, but that's down the track. But I can get everybody else up to being Ghostbusters.
Let's see how the fates are working for you today.
Right. There needs to be a talent I can re-roll this.
Okay, so it is a point for the dark side today.
Yeah.
Next up online we have Jeremy.
Good evening, all. Yeah, I'm playing Redmond Barrens of the elf who grew up on the streets of Seattle, believing the world was against him, but now finds out that actually maybe there are people out there that at least knew his existence, and they had to make things move. But if nothing else, he's finding that money makes the world more comfortable.
It does, definitely. And apparently when the GM rolls, you get 2 white points.
Okay, cool.
And I did mention the fact that, yes, Ross, there is a talent that will actually ring all the fate. Come back next week.
Yeah.
Next up online today, we have Josh.
Hello, I'm Josh. I think Olga being very short. Olga hit hard. Spirit hit harder. I have door collection you want to see?
Yes, except he can't remember where he put his doors.
Once I find them.
That's why I didn't want to see it, because I might show where he's.
And so that is an extra light point for the group. Next up we
Yes!
have
I
is...
bring happiness and joy.
Longer goes the light.
Next up we have is Talon.
Hello?
With Al,
Is
sorry.
Al?
Yeah.
I
I used the character name instead of the player name.
Hello, I play Talon, and I am the amnesiac. What's the word for amnesia? Amnesic elf with a very, apart from obviously the normal game skills, apparently no skills other than loving fashion and knowing how to make bad gambling plays.
Well, and the skill of making people do what you want.
Oh yeah, and that's it. And even then, sometimes I'm not successful.
And you're also the face of many businesses.
He has so many. Some I didn't even know I started. Funnily enough, the ones that do best are the ones I have nothing to do with. And that's me, out.
Yes, the organ harvesting business was a booming business.
Unfortunately, yes, it was.
And we add a dark point for L. And then
Woo!
we have, last but not least, we have M.
Hello, I play Bolt, your ever-lovable puppy, and not the sharpest bolt in the shed. I've been having a really wonderful time going on hikes and being out in nature here. I really quite like this place. So I'm Bolt is very much enjoying his holiday. And I got a white point. Whoa.
As you can see, there are more white points than dark points this time.
Yay!
So occasionally it is in the character's favor.
Occasionally?
Oh well.
Just every now and again?
Well, last night in Star Wars it was almost a TPK.
No.
Well, that's what you get when you shoot security and you are on camera at the time, then try to bluff them with the cunning deception that the people who you just shot are perfectly fine.
Well, the other thing is the Gungan didn't put on his Imperial accent. Misa, all right down here. We're going, yeah.
Well, the guy you were calling was watching it happen.
Yeah, but we didn't know that part until after you pointed it out. But the thing is, with him, even if nobody was watching, him going saying Misa, and then we're using his Gungan accent, I'm going, yeah.
Well, you did ask the Gungan to do the deception.
Yeah, well, the problem was I couldn't do anything because I already acted.
Okay, so with our story today, you are in the province of Munchmahasen in Germany, where your job is to steal a book and leave a medical device behind.
Can we just say ears?
Well, your characters don't know that, so...
Oh, no, we assumed it is.
No, your characters wouldn't necessarily assume that either. Just because you've had one thing happen along those lines doesn't mean they're all like that.
No, well, the last job happened to be for our elven friend, and isn't this job also from our elven friend?
It is.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I think it's probably linked up.
That's the difference of using player information and character information.
Oh, okay.
So the character shouldn't automatically leap to the knowledge of a player who's read the adventure.
Oh, I haven't read the adventure.
Jeremy has.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's where he pointed
I
out.
would say that Declan had not necessarily assumed that it was the capsule contained ears, but that it could contain the ears.
Yes.
It certainly fits the requirements.
Well, it ain't containing a book. That's it. That's all.
Well, you weren't supposed to open it even after leaving it behind. The medical thing.
No,
was
yeah.
just-
For some strange reason, I thought he actually supplied us with a thing to put the book in, as it's supposed to be so delicate. And I don't like how he's got it on display. It does not make any sense.
Yes, but a lot of books that are considered older than the material it's made of exist.
Yeah, but this is like a 5,000-year-old book.
The contents might be 5,000-year-old. The book may be 200-year-old.
True.
That's the whole thing with many manuscripts is they were copied.
Oh well, I won't. Well, basically, I won't. I'm still a bit suspicious, but I won't be able to do anything until I've actually physically seen the book.
And
Well, but we did get told the approximate dimensions of the book, didn't we? Or,
Yeah, it's the size of a tome, and tomes are big.
and what to expect on the cover.
Yeah.
So I'm just going through because the tome that I think is about that by that huge thing, which is I'm going to be have a problem if I'm trying to read it.
Well, but it's also the sort of thing that
I've already.
Your character's your name, the character's name's going in my head right now. But
I just realised something.
Yeah, Warp is probably the only one to actually register the fact that, hang on, there might be some special requirements to try and carry the book.
There is, unfortunately, we can't bring it with us due to the fact that it's going to be incredibly suspicious. Because remember, we are invited to come and see it.
I know you were never invited to come and see the book. You're
um,
invited to a tour of the castle.
Yes, but
which
isn't
doesn't
that...
necessarily mean seeing the book.
Yeah. We may not see the book, but the argument is that if we head through the castle, which is all the most we get, we might find out several places where the book isn't, which is certainly an advantage.
But I was more thinking if he's actually got it on display and it's probably in his area where everything else is on display, we probably would either see where the area of the book would be.
You may, depending on where he's got it on display.
True.
And how charming your elf is at the time.
Yeah, I think she can open doors everywhere. Even to the humanist group.
No. You did have a few people go into the humanist group. So your job was to collect the book, put the medical case behind, and make your way back to Seattle.
Which we've got some pointers on how to do that with our friendly priest.
Yes, that they didn't pay for your return journey. They only paid to get you there.
Yeah. Either that or they want us to stay in Europe.
No, you've got to return the book to Seattle. Or you don't get payment.
And then we have another team looking for us.
Oh, it won't be a team.
Okay, a single painted... Oh no, the painted man. That could be Harliquin.
Okay, so while you're doing your investigations, you found out the local priest is not a fan of the Baron.
Yeah.
And was willing to give you some assistance along the way of whatever it is you're here to do. The tour guide that keeps checking in on how you're doing, you found out is the Baron's security expert.
Okay. When did I fail a start-up business owner?
I believe that was a cut-and-paste error.
Okay, cool.
I noticed a few cut-and-paste errors in there. I don't think we actually had... I did have a title down for you and it got lost along the way. Okay, where was I going with that? Okay, so you had done some free climbing outside the town at the base of the mountain that the castle's up on.
Yeah, which is Flogger is showing off.
And Flogger actually quite good at the climbing, using all the gear.
Yep, he's also, I believe, good at base climbing.
Yes, he could probably climb without the gear.
And he probably could also survive the fall.
There's that. He may not hit the ground.
Yeah.
I believe that was most of the information. Have I left anything out?
No, I've gone to one of the cuckoo shops and bought a big cuckoo for the casing. So we can put the book in it. Because I expect it to be a large book anyway.
So where do you put your cuckoo case and clock?
Well, the problem is I can't bring it with us, so it's actually in with all our other personal equipment.
So left with the priest or left at the hostel?
I will leave it with the priest because the priest can probably have the cuckoo clock afterwards.
Okay, so you've left your cuckoo clock there, and you've had a couple of days of downtime before your meeting with the Baron on the Monday. So you're now up to the 24th of March, being a Monday.
What day do we arrive?
April, actually, 24th of April. You arrived on, I think it was the 18th.
Okay, yeah. Currently also part of the thought process was giving a few more days for the security to settle down again. Although admittedly, we're not entirely certain whether we want them nice and relaxed or whether we want them slightly on alert. But
well, you had determined that if they were slightly on alert, they would probably watch what you're doing and not shoot to kill. Whereas if they're completely unaware, then they will most likely just shoot first and ask questions later. Especially when you see that they shoot drones down that fly.
Yeah, but it does have the advantage if they're completely unaware, then we've got a better chance of successfully getting in and out without them seen.
That is true. Their security forces are a lot looser.
Mm.
Okay, so who is taking the sky tram to the castle?
I would like to, but I don't know if I fit in.
I think wasn't all but Flogger and
I think all the non-trolls were taking advantage of the tour, weren't we?
Well, weren't we gonna ask for permission for them to go up the road? Like, because I remember that was an option.
Well, certainly, I mean, obviously, it would be much better if we could actually, if all Talon's friends have been invited, then it would be nice to think that they had a way of actually getting all Talon's friends up there. I mean, I think because the time was going to take a couple of days or something to walk up the road, but maybe driving up the road is faster, although that would involve getting a vehicle that goes beyond walking pace.
And it would also require something that could navigate treacherous terrain.
Yeah, I thought it's because it's actually probably one of those small, narrow roads, and it's also, isn't it a bit cold at the moment? Or not cold?
It is, that time of the year is summer,
Okay.
but it's still treacherous.
Early spring, isn't it?
Yeah, early.
Or mid-spring, in fact, April.
It should be, because it is northern hemisphere. Definitely spring heading to summer.
Yeah. That's like they should make it warm. We're talking the area helps.
Yep, and high up in the mountains.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you want to get your trolls up there if they've got the invite?
Well, so have they got the invite? Do we know?
Well, they had invited Tarlin and her entourage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we should speak with the tour guide, aka the security specialist.
Well, I think that the tour got arranged by the local administration hall, didn't it?
Yeah, well, the person who met you at the train was the local tour guide.
Oh, okay. So they also the ones that said yeah, or that they were the person that approved the request from the administration, the town hall, whatever.
Yep.
It didn't come up when they were looking at various town history stuff.
It did.
Yeah.
Well, it's either that or we might get permission if we can do the climb up.
Well, they may give you permission to climb the slope.
Yeah.
I don't think we want to actually encourage them to think that the climb is feasible.
Well, you have spent the last 4 days climbing that region.
But only the bottom section.
Mm.
Although I think Flogger did manage to sneak up a few levels higher occasionally.
He He did, and secure some gear in case you needed it for getaway.
But where we would probably climb is it'd be a different area.
Well, I get from Deckard's perspective, he'd be saying, well, yep, it'd be great if we can get everyone up there, but if it's going to be difficult or they haven't arranged options for it, then it may be better to briefly go scouting attempt and just do the run of the hall. So.
Okay, so if the trolls wish to do the climb, they will let them, but they'll expect that they start the climb around the same time the others get on the trams. Which means that the tour might be finished by the time they get to the top.
Yeah.
And that means that we have to climb back down again.
Most likely, yes.
It's either that or Flogger's going to go challenge accepted, and I'm going, oh, fuck it, I have to. Because I know Flogger can get up there before the tram will be getting up there.
Flogger, as fast as he is, still wouldn't be going that fast.
Oh, unless he cheats.
He can't run on wall services.
No, but he can run. He can claw fairly quickly with his claws.
Yeah, but we don't know about that, or we don't want to know about that.
Yeah, we ignore the fact that he can.
So if Flogger's doing that, then you don't want to be anywhere near Flogger.
No,
Exactly.
Let alone tied to him.
yeah, I know. Great.
So is Flogger willing to drag Womp up the cliff face?
Well, he's better at athletics than I am.
But I really don't think we want to prove that you can get up the cliff face.
No, that's the other issue. Well, no, the thing is, if they're saying that, the tour will be over by the time we get up there, is going to be annoying, because then we have to get back down again, because we can't go... No, I am not going to zip line back on the bloody tram.
Yeah, well, from their perspective, it's the idea of, hey, yeah, it's a great scouting opportunity. You two stay here and
Count doors.
take the opportunity while the rest of the group is distracting the security staff to potentially lay a few more cases up the wall or something.
Actually, what we'll probably do is probably speak with the priest and see how, because he probably had some incidences with the counts before when their security has gone off with attacks and things like that, how their responses are and where they would go and things like that.
Well, they do have the... he does talk to you about their missile defense system.
Yeah, we know about the missile defense, but what about their foot soldiers and things like that?
There's not much of a need for foot soldiers with the missile defense system.
It can go ground to ground.
Yes. It's on the battlements of the castle.
Yeah, I thought it was just ground to air, not ground to air to ground again.
Technically, it covers the entire village as part of its arc.
I don't have the chameleon effect.
I'm sure the Baron's more than willing to rebuild a hostile if needed.
We gotta make it cuter and more
Actually, I'll
authentic.
probably also then get on to more of mystical and theology type thing and find out what he actually believes in. Actually, if he does believe in magic and things like that too.
Okay, so you end up having a big long discussion with him as the others take the sky train.
Yeah.
What is Flogger doing during all that time?
Probably falling asleep if he's listening to me.
Well, we're just gonna walk around the town.
Okay.
And he's yep, I'm right. He's counting doors.
Yeah.
There's a door. There's a door. He's getting the heebie-jeebies.
We're hoping that Flog will walk around the town long enough so that he doesn't get lost when we need to leave.
That's okay. There is one main street. I'm sure Floater could get lost on that main street if you tried.
Oh yeah, he can. Someone just has to say, look, antique door, and I'm like, go on.
Most of these doors are antique.
Yeah.
Would they even bother with the N, or would they just say teak?
I think they're even probably more expensive because they're made out of teak instead of oak.
Okay, so when you get the tram to the top, which will at this stage only be 3 of you, as Desrin, Tarlin, and Bolt.
Yeah. Just remember being happy tourists and take lots of photos so I can have a look at them later.
I was expecting a yes, Dad, from someone at least.
Yes, Dad.
Well, Edward can make lots of pictures because he can do it with his eyes.
Yeah, I know.
Would you like a fridge magnet to go with that?
Okay, am I going to get a bag? Okay, we need to remember up there I have to get a bag of souvenirs for everyone down the bottom.
And
Are
I
these
don't
souvenirs
want
that they've given you, or souvenirs that you've taken from the various bookshelves and ornaments?
She'll see how sticky my fingers are.
yeah, and I don't want a T-shirt saying I went to blah 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 and I got this lousy T-shirt. But all I got was this T-shirt.
Wait, so what are you saying? You don't even want a t-shirt. Okay, that's fine. We can do that.
What the teacher saying? I went to blah 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 and I got a book.
And what about Floggers? There was a door.
If someone can just find me like a cheap room with a door in it, Flogger will be extremely happy.
Well, unlike one of the places you've gone to, they don't seem to have a door factory here.
Blasphemous! How dare they?
But they still have doors, though.
Where do they get their doors from?
Yeah.
Flogger's gonna go find out.
I think the only one that would do work was the. I don't think there was. That would be the cuckoo block. Cuckoo workshop is the only one who's be playing around with wood and that.
No one here actually has the tools to make doors. They say they trade for doors.
Flogger, how big of a door do you want? Do you will you handle just really small ones, about the size of a size of your thumb? Actually, probably be a little bit smaller than that.
The size of an atom.
Flogger does not discriminate when it comes to doors.
Okay, we'll order some doors from the cuckoo clock for cuckoo clock doors. There you go. Have a bag full of doors.
Oh, that's it.
Okay, so the rest of you take the cable car up to the top, and as you spend the half hour it takes to go up,
I knew Flogger would probably be able to get up there.
I believe I have it under.
Wait, was that a question? How do we spend that half hour?
Yeah, how would you like to spend the half an hour going up in the cable car?
Well, they could looking out the window, admiring the scenery, and taking lots of photos.
No. Harlan's
obviously take lots of photos with the camera, and therefore he can potentially take photos less obviously with his eyes when he gets to other places.
And under the guise of needing to use the ladies' room, Harlan is wandering up and down the aisles, perusing the passengers, and just seeing who's there, seeing what's going on.
Well, the first thing that disappoints you is there is no restroom on the cable car. And the aisle consists of about 10 steps from front of the cable car to the back of the cable car. And
I was going to say cable car, not sky train or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. It's like a gondola.
It is a gondola.
Well, I guess I'm going 10 steps and back again.
and that they do like to call their gondola many things. And I'm sure calling it a sky train means that they can charge more for it.
Bastards.
Wouldn't you expect it to go fast as a train, not their cars?
Well, it is technically faster than the car.
Yeah, true.
And about halfway there, you see the gondola going the other way, as there are only two gondolas attached to the cables, and they are at opposite ends. As you see on the other one, there's a bunch of security personnel.
Going down to the control on walks in the streets.
There's a troll eyeing off doors. Be worried.
I'm sure there's more than just doors being eyed off there.
Is there anyone else coming up from in our cart? Anyone else on this tour?
You do have the tour guide. She's on the cart there, being observant. Wouldn't want you to feel unwatched. You also make out about 3 security cameras on the gondola.
That's normal, everyone.
And if you mean by normal, you see Bolt is like almost licking the window to the viewer's amazing.
That's perfectly normal.
I thought you'd probably try to stick your head out the window.
The window can be open.
Oh, if it can, I'd slow down. Though I don't know, would I have to resist the temptation to like transform in the middle of the gondola?
That's completely up to you.
It's so, I hope you do.
I think it's been drummed into me enough that I need to be like human while I'm in this town.
And it seems that the door to the gondola can be opened mid-transit, so you can stick half your body out if you wish to.
Oh, sweet. I'm presuming that would be like an athletics or something check to make sure that I don't fall like 500 meters down.
I feel like someone needs to sit next to Bolt and just whisper a small reminder to stay human and act normal. Normal by this town standard.
As you see Bolt's head out the window, having a time of his life.
Oh,
Whoa, so high up! Wait! Look, I can see the tail from here.
And you even get to see his butt wiggle without a tail.
Somehow it's like, oh, okay.
Well, you are in human form. I never said you had human characteristics.
I know.
So when you get to the top of the gondola, you see that they actually have a shop there for renting gliders. So they that you did hear about this previously, and they do have an obvious tracking device on them. A bright red flashing light that sits on top of the glider.
Which is almost certainly not just a tracking device, but also the IFF to ensure you don't get shot down by the tank systems.
Unless, of course, you just stole something and jump off with it. It may be the thing that helps them shoot you.
Okay, so Dave will certainly be taking lots of photos of the area, including those got a spot, Just can't find those photos we take with the camera, so I'm going to take it with his eyes.
So there are 10 different gliders sitting there. There's at least 2 of them big enough for a troll, you think. Maybe the Baron himself uses them every now and then.
Yep.
But hey, who knows? They might just be designed for every sort of person.
Yep.
As the connections and straps and all that seem to be variable in height and length for catering from small people to tall people.
Very good then.
Well, the last thing you want to do is be strapped into a glider and not reach the handlebars.
Very disadvantageous.
Once you've had a good look at the view, you're guided onto an elevator that takes you down to ground level inside the castle. And you follow a trail that takes you into the actual keep.
Yeah, well, so as I said, everyone's getting lots of wonderful tourist shots, including confirming heights of walls, heights of towers, heights of buildings, apparent guard posts.
Definitely lots of cameras. Definitely lots of sensors. And the other towers you could see from the one with the hang glider are the ones that have the weapon emplacements. So one weapon emplacement overlooks the town, the other two overlook the approach to the main gate.
Yeah. And that's the missile weapons?
The missile defense system.
Yeah.
Seems to also have a autocannon as well.
A lovely anti-personnel option.
Well, it's what you would expect on someone who actually wants to keep their castle appearing secure. Though you're sure you can see many gaps in their security.
Okay. So what time of day are we coming, or is this an evening visit, or?
This is a morning visit because most of the tourism is daylight hours.
Yeah. Happy with that? The lighting certainly much better for the photos, so that's good.
And much harder to lose someone during the day than it is at night.
And it's not like the parents met Tala yet that he wants to invite her for dinner later on.
So you are welcomed into the reception hall of the keep, where each of you is scanned with weapon detectors. They check your IDs against the visas before letting you get further in.
Obviously, we're still happy tourists, loving the opportunities for the special treatment of the tour.
And there's a lot of sounding of the bureaucrats stamping various paperwork from the room next door. Which, considering you're used to the digital age, really does feel out of place.
Jason's been spending a bit of time down with what's her name? Old Mother Hubbard down in the basement of the Redmond office in Seattle.
That's because
he's not used to the only paper records.
Yes, but you're not sure if they're just doing it for show for touristy people or they're actually using paper.
Yeah.
Very hard to tell.
Well, nobody's like puppy buzz.
As you're walked down a corridor, you pass a security office that seems to have a scanner operating on the hallway. And you...
A scanner or like a like it's scanning for in particular, or just we talk just a camera, or?
Well, it looks like it does a body scan imaging as you walk through the hallway.
Right. Okay.
So if you had weapons hidden on you, they would show up.
Yeah. A lot of chance for them to action. Yeah.
You'd also expect that if you were to, say, walk off with an item that wasn't yours, they would quite easily tell by matching it to the scan that you came in with.
Yeah.
Or if you happen to be missing something you had walking in, then they would also pick that up.
Yeah.
It does look extremely paranoid. And they...
Didn't you say last session though that like other baronies often try and do shit here as well?
They do. So the Baron may think of you as an opposing territory trying to make him look bad. But that doesn't mean...
Meanwhile, we're just shitty tourists. In more ways than one.
That doesn't stop it being for opposing barony trying to make it look bad. You can also be shitty too.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're taken up in an elevator where you're walked around a... let me see, does that actually have to walk around what looks to be a stylish kitchen above the security office you went past before, as you're led to a big dining room.
Okay. Do we feel like we've got to at least walk past most of the ground floor?
Most of the ground floor was offices, the security office, and apparently there's a restroom on every floor.
Okay.
At least from the first two floors perspective.
Yeah. And the elevator, do we know how far we went?
You went up one floor because the tour starts one level up.
Yeah, okay.
And you get to see a 7-meter long obsidian dining table sitting in the center of the room. The tour guide starts to go into all this history and theology relating to the table.
Theology? About the table?
Yep, about all the religious practices that people used to have on the table.
On the table? Okay.
I was about to say, doesn't that sound like a fun time to follow?
Deirdre will appear to will put on the appearance of being fascinated as he's carefully taking photos constantly.
The suits of armor look impressive, and there's quite a few Asian style vases around the outside of the room amongst the armor. And while it's a showpiece, it does look functional. And looking under the table, they still have the straps they used to use for their religious practices.
I'm getting vibes of Parry at the moment.
Well, Perry would just have been at home with that. After you get some nice pictures with the dining hall, you're taken down to the room next door, which is the Antler Hall, as it's called. It's where the Baron likes to take his guests for a casual smoking.
Right, okay.
Opposed to formal smoking?
I'm sure the formal smoking is in the ballroom.
Ah.
Where the casual smoking is amongst all the dead trophies he's killed.
So the trophies look old, in the sense that the Baron's been the one killing them, or they just leftovers from his family history?
Looking at them, the trophies do all look to be fairly new and taxidermied in the last 5 years.
And well, I'm not sure whether it's actually the original tour guide is taking us around, or whether we're taken around by one of whoever it was that Arlen Sweet talked at the town hall.
You're actually getting the tour from the original tour guide, because, well,
Right.
she's head of tourism as well as many
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's an explanation or a story that she tells, the fact that, oh yeah, these ones have all been, that these hunts and kills have all been done by the Baron himself, and any excellent and tales about how he read about it.
She talks about the various ways the Baron has taken them down, ranging from a long-range shot from over 2 miles away to close thrust with a blade in relation to a what appears to be a giant bear.
After rattling it to the ground and then using the dagger, obviously.
Well, she goes on about how the Baron doesn't like to be wasteful in his efforts. If he has to stab twice, he believes that is a waste of effort.
Indeed. Desmond will continue to aim to be the most impressed American yokel.
And looking at it, the ones that they said he shot from 2 miles away does look quite impressive, because the creature couldn't be more than 1 meter long.
They were the butterfly pinned to the thing.
Well, you'd have to have quite the rifle to be able to do that.
Indeed.
But none of the weapons are on display. And as you go along the hallway, you get to see that there are 3 really nice looking guest rooms set up for the Baron's personal guests. There is a checking room here for an entire room dedicated to hanging clothing of the guests.
Important, obviously, yep.
Well, you wouldn't expect a cloakroom that is as big as a bedroom.
Not normally required, particularly not if there's only half a dozen bedrooms or something. Yep.
That's where the it does look quite strange, and the kitchen itself looks like a modern kitchen with a lot of automation.
Okay. So the fairy tale only goes so far.
And it does look like it has a dumbwaiter to allow the kitchen to access the upper floors with food, meaning that's another vulnerability you see as you're going through.
Yeah, but how big are the dumbwaiters?
Desrin and Thailand might be able to squeeze in there. Bolt, probably not.
Yeah, they're dumbwaiters, not elevators.
But
There's
someone's
Bolt
gonna then
in.
pull the rope while Declan and Tyler are in there enjoying some alone time. They're kind of got to pull the rope.
You don't think you'd be able to fit in there with a second person?
So does Bolt have a Chihuahua version?
I'd love to see that.
Either that or
I think I can, but I think it takes me a while to change my size. Still, like I've got my standard size. But I think it takes more magic now to actually
it does
change my shadow size. So far I can only go bigger. Is that right, Mom?
Most people don't want to go smaller.
Wouldn't that be using curse on yourself with the size?
Curse wouldn't change your size. It would be funny if it did.
I have to work out a way of how to do that. They'll probably have to do that through Fey magic.
Okay, so after witnessing the marvel of the kitchen and each getting a cookie from the kitchen.
No.
Made with real chocolate.
Oh, you bastards. You get chocolate. But no chocolate for Bolt.
Wait, so we get cookies?
You do.
Can I get an extra one for later to put in my pocket?
What, so you want to smell like cookies?
You don't want to smell like cookies? Obviously I want to smell like cookies.
Alan always smells like what you most dream of.
Well, you do get a couple of extra cookies because the cook is flattered that you liked his cookie.
Thanks, guys. You smile at him.
I'll bring some back for the trolls.
Okay, so you end up taking the elevator up another floor, and
Do we feel like we saw all of the second floor?
You did. There wasn't a huge amount to see,
Okay.
as it was mainly guest quarters, dining room, and smoking room.
Okay.
On the next level up, you're introduced to the Great Hall, otherwise known as the formal smoking room.
Ooh.
This place looks like it hasn't been used in a while. It has a temporary wooden stage erected for what appears to be a rock concert. And the tour guide mentions that they had a performer come through 5 years ago.
And it's still set for that. They haven't bothered changing the setting.
So so that they'll get round to pulling it down next time we have a need for it, she says.
Of course.
But the Baron spares no expense on getting entertainment he desires. So after having the tour of the Great Hall, or the formal smoking room, she takes you via the library, where you can see quite a few different things here.
Okay. Declan's still busy with the camera.
It does have a fireplace that connects down to the 2 levels below.
Okay, thank you. We've got access to the fireplace as well.
Mm-hmm. And you see many shelves with cases sitting on the edges of it. This room is bigger than the bedrooms you saw on the level below, and it seems to be designed specifically to house his antique collection. And you see under one of the cases a book that resembles what you've been asked to get.
Well, certainly as Declan is taking photos of all the different antiques, the book will certainly be amongst the shots.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll definitely aim to get some of those shots with his eyes, so that therefore if they do decide to take his camera off him, well, it's got a chance of actually keeping the images.
They do describe the book as the greatest treasure of the Barons, so his most prized possession. And looking at it, it's about 15 centimeters thick, bound between wooden covers that are 30 centimeters square. So it is quite a large, thick book.
Mm-hmm. And certainly if they're talking about being the Baron's greatest treasure, his talent doesn't take that as a good cue to jump up and demonstrate a more interest in this ancient antiquity.
Yes.
Edwin will be definitely aiming to do so after possibly a slight jolt tripping over Talent briefly.
So is this the book? Like this is the book that we want?
Presumably.
Okay. Martin, can you just remind us, like, where is it behind glass?
It is behind it is inside a glass display cabinet. So surrounded on 5 sides by glass, and the glass seems to be attached to the wood of the stand it's in.
Can we ask?
If it looks like Carlin's even thinking about trying to obtain the book right now, unconclusively or deliberately, there could all be kind of quietly indicate that that's not going to be feasible for us.
Can we ask our tour guide if we'll have a chance to, after the formal tour is over, to like peruse the different rooms on our own?
Oh, she goes, no, tour guides always travels with the tour group. Wouldn't want anyone to be shot by accident, she says.
Well, it also that means one that we always have the expert knowledge of someone to describe what we see. But yeah, like it's there. Excellent. Basically, indicated all the rest of the treasures that we've seen throughout the castle and in the library specifically. Mm-hmm. And confession to us, why is this book the most precious one?
She doesn't know. She doesn't understand why the Baron treasures it so. She does point out a couple of the rooms she's glossed over are just used for storage, whereas the Baron's chambers itself include a small living room and a portrait of the first Baron hangs over a hexagonal bed, and probably the first time you've actually seen someone with a hexagonal bed.
Are we allowed to see this hexagonal bed and this picture of the first Baron?
You do.
Again, Declan is definitely taking a good opportunity to take all the photos and apparently expressing as much interest in the picture of the first Baron and this the story behind the hexagonal bed.
She does tell you a story, but it sounds as if it is another fairy tale. But it sounds impressive.
I'm glad to see that the tour guide subscribes to the belief of never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Well, that's what all good tour guides do, is make stuff up to make it sound more impressive.
Absolutely. So, and Desmond's happily appearing to gullibly accept it all.
And Desrin does see weak points in the Baron's wall, where it seems to connect into a storage room between the Baron's room and the library.
When you want to make those secret trick without being seen.
And there are no cameras in the Baron's room. They are in the hallway, but not in the room itself. And above the kitchen is a well-stocked bar that is currently unmanned.
They didn't ensure there was a bartender there for the visit by important guests.
Well, they showcase the bar, but they don't see the need to give samples as they go by. So after being shown the wonders of the Baron's bar, you are then taken up to the 4th floor, where above the bar is the servants' main quarters. It seems nearly all the personnel in the building live in one of the smallest rooms of the building.
Of course.
But hey, how often does that happen? Fairly often, it seems. And as you're looking around, you are shown where a beautiful painting is hanging over what looks to be a very old chapel in the Rococo style. The tour guide says this was constructed in the early 18th century. And it has oil paintings, ornaments and figures throughout the chapel. Doesn't look like it's actually used for any services, but it's completely chock full of what look to be wonders in their own right. Probably not as treasured as what's in the library, but still fairly well worth the money.
Certainly one of the things that they're going to be gushing over is the idea that the thought of something that old from the 18th century, you say, and things like that. So.
Okay, you're also introduced to what is known as the security center, which is located on the top floor of the building. Right next to a room that's got under construction on the outside of it. She does say that the Baron is planning a surprise in that room, but hasn't quite got round to finishing paying for it yet.
Considering the treasures and wonders that the Baron's keeping, what we might consider a surprise.
She thinks he'll get round to finishing it maybe in the next 4 to 5 years.
Desmond can't wheedle any clues as to what the Baron might be thinking of.
Well, they do have a padlock across the door. So it seems even his staff don't get to see what his surprise is going to be. She says the Baron himself has the key around his neck. It does look like a rather large keyhole, but you suspect it's not a standard lock.
But they're going to make an obvious show of trying to look through the keyhole. But fully expecting that they will probably either stop in doing so or know that there's nothing to actually see.
Well, looking in the keyhole, you see it actually has a digital connectors inside it, so the key itself would be a digital key.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't actually physically turn the key in the lock, you just plug in the key that works with it.
And it's certainly not a hole that goes all the way through the door.
It does not. Though the lock does look fairly impressive, it'd probably require someone like Flogger or Womp to take the lock off the door.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize that this is the room that they're referring to is exactly where you were told the Brown Hall would be, which is supposed to house the Baron's private vehicle.
Ah, yes, I remember that now.
But the tour guide makes great trouble to gloss over any such questions.
Mm-hmm. But also just confirming, like by looking out, if there's any windows in neighbouring rooms or things like that, just confirming the fact that, yep, we are about 15, 20 metres off the ground at the moment. There's not appear to be a road or anything like that leading up to that particular room.
There is not. So you're expecting it is definitely a flying vehicle.
Yes.
And there are 2 guest rooms up here. So you can literally take the chimney that goes through the library also comes all the way up to here and through the roof here.
Mm-hmm.
So it does mean that if you were to skydive and land on the roof of the building, you could literally climb down the chimney.
Assuming you got through this self-defense system.
That is true, but I'm sure you're small enough not to be picked up on radar.
I mean, all these guest rooms, does the Baron regularly have visitors?
She says he has visitors maybe 2 or 3 times a month.
Okay. They must be most fortunate people, or most important.
And sometimes she says they're people who have challenged him to a hunt.
Yeah, well, what you explained earlier, obviously those challenges would be futile.
Well, if they can survive for a week of the Baron chasing them, then the Baron will give them a small fortune.
Have they put up in the guest rooms before or after the hunt?
Always before.
Image of people's heads being stuck on the walls come to mind.
Yeah, Desmond's doing a quick flip back through the images for his Skype vocabulary. Yeah, no, there were no human, troll, elf dwarf or orc heads on the walls that were noticed?
No, there were none of those. At least as far as you can imagine.
He might have a private display room.
Well, actually, then you keep pulling up a bit of an internal map of the things that go through it. Okay, what area of the building haven't we actually got to look into yet?
That's right. Desmond can probably map it out in his own little GPS thingamajig. You can work out any inconsistencies where there should be a room when there's not a room.
Well, I mean, you've also got the fact that the father, like the priest, provided some maps of the castle.
Okay, so he then the tour guide then takes you down to the basement level 1, and you're introduced to the Blue Gallery, where it has the Baron's personal museum of the Dark Ages, where you see many ancient and macabre items, including runic Bibles illustrated with demons, broken swords engraved with twisted characters, and tapestries appearing oddly out of focus. And your eyes can't seem to focus on them at all.
Yeah.
No matter how you try to get the focal point right, it just doesn't get the tapestries in focus.
We'll certainly aim for some, probably more with the camera shots, but again, there'll be probably lack of focus on them, but because the camera would all be electronic rather than film, so it seems likely that these tapestries might have some magical component to them, but
and you do see what appears to be heads mounted around the outsides of the walls as well.
Head of more hunting animals or more specific variety of hunt?
What type of head, pray tell?
More looks like the two-legged variety of heads. And they all look to be humans and dried, so the tour guide says his collection of antique severed heads.
So not the Baron's personal trophies.
She says, yes, not the Baron's personal trophies at all.
But remnants of a dark and distant past that no one would ever dream of doing anymore.
No, I couldn't imagine dreaming of doing that at all, though you can see that there are spaces reserved for new acquisitions. And then you're briefly shown 3 other vaults they have down in the basement, where it seems to have various antique furniture stacked in various Tetrisy sort of way.
Certainly, looking down in these vaults and the galleries and things like that down in the basement, one thing Desmond is definitely looking out for is any evidence of gaps, like spaces where extra heads could go, but more specifically, gaps in the libraries or things like that, on the idea that he might keep certain treasure books in places that are not obviously on display.
Okay, so having a good look around, you do see that it is definitely anywhere where the fires are doesn't have a camera pointing towards the fireplace. So that is a weak spot in the defense, especially if you can come in while the fireplace is inactive.
Yeah.
How big is the? I mean, there's obviously a chimney attached to it.
Mm-hmm. You do think that an elf could easily shimmy up and down the chimney. Bolt may struggle because Bolt is not as thin as an elf.
Bolt is still bulky as a human. Think like I don't know, like bodybuilder kind of. I'm only guessing there, but
I'm happy with that.
But obviously, someone like Jason, who's particularly he's particularly good with the coordination side of the house. So he'd be quite easy to shimmy up and down chimneys. But yep, okay. So
though Bolt does notice that the fireplaces do seem to be dominated by fire elementals.
oh, cool.
Unfortunately, the others don't notice because they're not that magically inclined.
So at the present time, there's been fires burning at all the fire places that have gone past that we've seen?
There is warmth coming out of the fireplaces, yes.
Right. So they haven't necessarily been fires lit at that time. From our perspective, it would appear to be residual heat from a fire that was there the previous night or something.
It does feel like that, yes.
Yeah.
But there is a slight glow coming from the fireplace, even if it doesn't seem to have flame coming up.
Okay, so probably they bank the coal for the night to make it easier to get it restarted again the following night. So.
Well, it's always easier to keep it running than restart it every day.
Yeah.
And from what you could see of the security office, they do have about 50 monitors showing various parts of the castle and town. Including, you believe, the hostel where you're staying. Not that you could detect it. And from what you can see here, it looks to be all old tech fiber optic, not actual, no projections of a network anywhere.
And yet, certainly, some of the areas appear to be fairly state of the art. You said, like, the kitchen was certainly well equipped.
But it wasn't putting out a signal, so you couldn't actually pick up any Wi-Fi in the castle whatsoever.
Okay. Yep.
You sure that's part of the security? Everything is wired.
Yeah, that's certainly they got that. Like what you're looking at was the idea of, it's deliberate security choice to not be wireless connections, considering the obvious money and potential for state-of-the-art capabilities and equipment, even if they make it look like something out of a postcard.
Yep, and the downside to wired is if you tap into one part of the network, you can technically have access to the entire network.
Yep.
So there are good and bad things.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So just the tour of the vaults and things like that. I'm assuming that Desmond doesn't necessarily spot any obvious empty display cases or things like that.
There doesn't appear to be any empty display cases. Each display case has stuff in it until you look into the rooms with the piled antique furniture. There are empty display cases in there.
Yeah, and also there doesn't appear to be any like apparent vaults and things like that we didn't get access to, where the truly treasured items might also be contained.
That is true.
Okay.
Okay, so you do end up with a meet and greet with the Baron himself after you've had your tour.
Marvelous.
And so you meet a what it looks to be a sickly looking troll who is he's definitely dressed up in a pompous sort of manner, and has excessively golden earrings, a golden monocle that could definitely serve as a hat for a normal person. His clothing would basically cover a mini car.
He's a big troll.
And
I'm sure that he's feeling a bit down, feeling a bit sickly. I'm sure the sight of Tarlin and 5 minutes of chatting with her will make him feel on top of the world.
And what really makes things interesting for Tarlin is he doesn't even seem to notice her that much.
Travesty.
He's stoned.
He seems to be more interested in Desrin and what Desrin's been up to.
Ooh, Desrin, your time to shine.
He does ask if your travels have ever taken you to Angel Grove.
Angel Grove? I've heard of the place. Somewhere online. Where have I heard of Angel Grove?
Because he does say that your face does remind him of someone who challenged him and got away.
Well, no fear, I'm not in. By the sound from what and the name came out of my head immediately, but from the tour guide's name, from what she's told us here. So, if it hadn't been me that managed to escape, I can't imagine being fool enough to try twice.
But he does say that you're always welcome to take up the challenge anytime you feel the need.
Well, okay. But I'm assuming this hunt goes out in the wilderness out there, and hey, some of my colleagues really like that stuff, but I'm happy to do a bit of a wander out there, but I should have been outside of visibility of good road.
You do realize you are really tempting Bolt into one of these so-called challenges, right? Outside, fun, hunting. What is this that I'm missing out on?
And then the Baron goes into this spiel about showing your power in nature, your skill with wandering over the harsh terrains and mountainous regions, living off the land and reaching a escape point first.
Sounds wonderful.
Well, that's what says it all. I've got to say, Your Excellency, that you're sounding a bit like some of the slightly out there wannabes in Seattle that their concept of elves and dwarves and orcs and trolls, don't really give it the modern world.
Well, it's his version of the escape room, he says. Except it's more of a escape outside.
I can understand the idea of escaping for a while, but they obviously they always come back.
It's the Barons version of you want to play a game.
So what? He rides around on a tricycle.
No, he rides around on one of his gliders.
Yeah.
One of the gliders. So how long do these challenges usually go for?
He says normally they're very short-lived and go for maybe 5 hours at tops. Most disappointing.
That could give the 4.5 hour head start.
He says it's just a pretty much shot in the dark and it's over.
A week.
Well, the original challenge, which Bolt may have missed in the description, I understand, when we were going to the tour guide, was the fact that, yes, it was, if you survive a week, then you win.
So he's believing that Bolt will only survive 5 hours.
Well, they're saying that most of the people, when you ask how long the hunts normally go for, he said, well, normally they're over and done with in about 5 hours.
Oh, right.
In the sense that they don't last very long because he's too good.
Right. So, well, there have been people, but yes.
Apparently someone who looks like Desmond's done it before.
I mean, I'm really good. I'm not sure whether do I tempt death?
Well, he said that was about 10 years ago.
For the person who escaped.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That was the last one to escape.
Did he imply that was the one that looked like Desmond, or was that a previous?
No, that's the one he says is the one who looked like Desmond.
How many people have gotten away? I'm guessing it's like 1 or 2.
He says 1.
Or 1. So 1 in the entire time. Impressive. I like your style.
Well, it also helps that most of them haven't got a clue about wilderness survival.
Before Desmond would personally have to admit the fact that, not me.
Yeah,
I think Bolt's going to be starting to dig himself into a early grave.
I'm not. I know nature.
Yeah, but you can say, I'm just waiting for challenge accepted.
I pee on the trees real good. I know dominance is.
I didn't say that. I might have thought it.
No, I don't know you were thinking it, so I said it.
Because you know me too well.
He does say that the escape point is top of the tallest mountain point in the region. Which is probably why not many people have made it.
Yeah.
Because it's in the ice zone.
I'm presuming they're allowed like equipment and stuff.
Now you've told me that, I'm guilty about accepting the challenge, because obviously you've given me the answers.
Well, he says that's the he always makes sure they're informed and they sign the contract.
Okay, so they weren't aware of where they're going to get to.
Yes, it wouldn't be much of a challenge if they didn't know which way to go.
But of course that all gives you an understanding of which way they're headed.
It does. Which is why he was surprised someone actually managed to make it there before he did.
Well, I guess maybe he did look like me. Maybe I should try and look him up and claim some of the winnings.
Well, he did say his home was in Angel Grove, which is why I asked.
Well, that's the memories of Elven somewhere, but yeah, I guess I'll look it up for my next holiday.
So, is there anything else you would like in his personal tour? He asks.
Yeah, Jason will certainly he'll aim to hear the conversation, to personal descriptions and understanding of the treasures in the rooms and things like that, and the particularly because the tour guide couldn't necessarily explain why the book was considered his most treasured item, so that then becomes an obvious intro to. Oh, what is about the book? You've got so many marvellous antiquities here.
Oh, he says it is a relic detailing the origin of trolls. And trolls throughout history that have existed back to antiquity, he says.
But didn't trolls just come out in the last 50 years or so?
Only to the uneducated, he says.
There's more to the story?
There's always more to a story. You've just got to find out where to read it.
Well, do we have time for you to tell us more?
Probably not, but hey, I'm sure that if you were to sign up to be his next challenge, he might have a bit more time to go through it with you.
Before or afterward?
Always before, he says.
I fear that I may not get opportunity to make much use of the knowledge then.
That's not his worry. That's why he's quite happy to share with people who take up the challenge. He doesn't have to worry about where the information goes.
Well, I will keep it in mind, but maybe I'm not that curious.
Okay, so he does direct the tour guide to take you back to the gondola for via the dining room, as he's had a brunch prepared for the three of you.
Hey Martin,
I think Victoria knows how to host.
What was that, Al?
I think I need to log off.
All good.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for being on as long as you could.
Oh no, that's all right. Thanks. Make up some terrible excuse to me for lunch. Got up to.
You're having the cookies are having a bad effect on you.
Somehow.
Yes, somehow. I've embarrassed myself in some corner. Right. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Happy birthday again. Okay, so yes, you have a sumptuous breakfast. It seems to cater to various American-style yokel breakfasts, mainly that you'd see on some of those ancient sitcoms from the 20th century.
We'll try not to look too closely at the long pork.
But there are
tastes like chicken.
There are stacks of pancakes.
They're certainly happy to enjoy.
And there's plenty of eggs, bacon, and ribs. And I'm sure you don't look too closely at the ribs either.
Well, you claimed that it had been 10 years since the light Birkin or the first Birkin escaped. You didn't say how recently you did a hunt.
I mean, Bolt's down for reading pretty much anything, so I'll give it a good, I'll subtly give it like the sniff test before I start eating some of the new things.
You're a little turned off to begin with because there's not a single smell of soy in the food.
But hey, you'll be able to tell Flogger that you missed out on ice cream on the pancakes.
And there's no preservatives, there's none of the usual additives you're used to.
It's actually like homemade stuff.
From real ingredients.
Well, I mean, like, to be honest, Bolt really liked the fish previously from some of the other travels. So
you find that the meat on the bone is amazing.
nice.
Even the bones themselves are tasty.
It's sure normal for a human to eat the bones too, right?
Well, hey, some of the nice nutrition's in the actual bones.
Yeah. Suck that marrow out.
And you do find it to be probably the most delicious meal you've ever had.
Yeah, and then Bolt passes out from like.
Food coma.
Yeah. Well, Josh was saying something else, but.
I'll pass out and let the hunt begin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Desrin
was interested in that. Let's just give them a taste.
Desrin finds the food a little too a little too greasy and oily for his usual tastes. So it's extremely rich.
Yeah.
And the syrup that is provided with the pancakes, extremely sugary, with a taste of sugar you've never tasted before.
It's real sugar.
Oh no, it's sugar from a different plant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maple sugar. From real maple.
Unlike the corn sugar that you're used to.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
But yeah, well, from my perspective, obviously, yes, Desmond and Talon and the Bolt enjoy the meal, and unless there's something that Bolt still wants to do, we could probably move on, so that therefore Flogger and Womp can also play.
yes, and so you're escorted out after the meal and have to, between the two of you, help Bolt get to the gondola. As Bolt is very sleepy after eating the amount that he ate. You're sure he ate a portion more than Flogger would normally eat?
We'll definitely encourage Bolt to remain awake at least long enough to get to the gondola, and then wake him up again when we get out to the gondola.
Well, I mean, like, Bolt normally eats like how he would eat in hybrid form, probably forgetting that he's currently in human form, so he's probably not, like food coma and like overate, definitely.
His eyes are literally bigger than his stomach at the moment.
Yeah, literally.
Well, you didn't have you didn't have breakfast that morning, so of course you were starving.
Of course, yeah. Like, no restraint at all.
2, 4, 6, 8, my face the plate.
And just to make things better, you were given a tourist package, including I came to this castle and all I got was this t-shirt.
Sweet.
In gold, guys.
Bolt immediately puts that one on.
And he has a picture of the castle on there.
Well, so if there's one for each of us on that, Desmond will pull out marker pen and annotate his t-shirt to say, I went to the castle and all I got was this t-shirt and a bloody wonderful meal. Thanks very much, Baron.
Okay, so yes, you take the gondola down, and as you're going down, you can see Flogger wandering through the town, followed by about 8 security guards.
Flogger's still empty-handed, hopefully.
Well, he may be empty-handed now, but he may not have been in the past.
Hence why he's
They don't seem to be threatening him. They just seem to be, traveling behind him.
Hi guys, I made friends.
And as you're coming down, Flogger waves at you from the street.
We'll wave back as obviously Declan still take the opportunities to take photos on the other side of the gondola this time.
Okay, so when you make it down to the bottom, you do notice that the weight capacity does allow trolls to get on the gondola, just that they were discouraging it. Because they literally said it's not suitable to trolls.
Yep. But technically, considering the size of the gondola, if it was designed to carry 20 people or something, then it could probably also carry, or alternately carry, 2 trolls.
Yep. So it is possible they could take the gondola up if needed.
Yeah. But I think that the obvious security systems upon the gondola make that problematic.
Well, none of the chairs were troll-sized, so they'd have to stand the whole way.
Well, that's not an itself a major issue. Only half an hour or so.
And yes, when you get down to the bottom, the tour guide does say she's going to head back up to the castle for some administration, and wishes you an enjoying rest of the day. Please give her a buzz if you need her assistance in any more of your touristy needs.
Obviously, Declan will allow Talon to take the lead on offering our effusive thanks and appreciation for the personal effort and personal touch that she's provided. We'll ensure all of our friends are aware of the wondrous hospitality and opportunities available here in Mundbausen.
And she does say that Desrin is always welcome to take the Baron up on his offer if he so chooses.
Oh God, he wasn't serious about that, was he?
Apparently he's already chosen the space on the wall for you.
What kind of challenge would you expect me to be?
Well, considering you remind him of someone who won, it would allow him to fix that oversight.
So basically to fill the gap.
Yeah.
Well, keep it in mind, but you might let him know that by the time I accept, I may not necessarily look too much like the guy 10 years ago.
He says he doesn't mind. He does have a good person able to correct such errors.
I'm fairly certain 100 years from now, I may not look the same as right now.
He may not actually be around in 100 years from now, so if you really want to, you probably have to get in less time than that. Maybe in about 2 to 3 years max.
Well, as I said, I'll keep it in mind, but but what you've explained about the prowess of His Excellency, I don't necessarily see there's much in it for me, and it's not like I've got descendants that I could hand the winnings off onto, and I could to leave it to others. And the way my life is at the moment, unfortunately, as he looks longingly towards Talon, I suspect in 2 to 3 years that won't necessarily have changed.
She does say that if Bolt ever wishes to take up the challenge, she'll
talk him out of it.
She'll more than happily run Bolt through all the terms and conditions.
But Declan tries to talk over something. Yeah, that guy. We'll talk him out of it if he ever thinks about doing it.
I mean, it sounds fun and exciting, but
escape room, wilderness style. What more could you wish for? She says.
Yeah, what more could I ever want in life?
Possibly an escape.
Oh, she says, I'm sure your friend here in his other form would more than meet the escape requirements.
Declan will aim to put on a puzzled look as he says, well, thank you very much, but...
she pats Desmond on the... She pats Desmond on the cheek and says, oh, how cute. I love that look, and then she walks back into the gondola.
I love how she just casually dropped that too. Just clearly the rumors from the train station got to the boonies here.
Bolt does suspect that she is magically active.
Well, there's also the element of the fact that he apparently connected Declan with Angel Grove. Now, apparently that was purely coincidental on the fact that somebody else looked like him that had mentioned he was from Angel Grove, but that was still way too close for Declan comfort.
Well, you sure he did his research before you got the invite?
Yes.
And you sure there was a reason that Womp and Flogger had not really gotten the invite?
Yes, we were discouraged from attending. So, but either way, we will.
So when you get back to town, you see that the father has arranged a lunch fiesta.
Terrific.
Where he's gotten quite a few of the locals to play music, off key, on key, close to the key, trying to find the key, and searching for a tune. But it's all grating on any form of observation, you're sure.
Okay, yes. Like I was going to say, the fact that yes, we possibly Declan might go for the bushwalk, thinking, well, we didn't see any evidence that they're actually covering the forest, but if the father has provided a suitable place for conducting somewhat secure conversations, and we can also activate the white noise generator and things like that we provided for the father. Then yes, we will certainly enjoy the the fiesta. Although I suspect that Harlan, Declan, and Bolt don't necessarily feel the need to eat too much. So
but there is plenty of alcohol.
Go on.
There is plenty of alcohol with all the craft beers.
Yeah. So, so then we'll talk to Womp and Blogger, and they can enjoy the lovely slideshow of what I did on my holidays, or rather, what we the photos we got on the.
Flogger start drinking game.
Yeah. So, but he will particularly talk to Womp about the fact, like, okay, the images of the book, just to confirm that it met the description and the information that we were trying to get hold of, of what we were trying to retrieve, and also confirm the dimensions of the book and how fragile it looked or didn't look. And also the images of like I said, yeah, the other treasures and things like that, and start correlating that maps of the interior or the photos of the interior with the map to just double check that we didn't miss any areas or there's no obvious secret vault type location.
You do know that there is a floor below the basement you went into. Apparently, it is the Baron's personal play area.
From what we've heard, possibly just constructed, but we didn't get to see that.
Looking
possibly a location where treasures are kept.
Not from what the father had said. It seemed to have been purely for the recreational needs of the Baron.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's something you were talking about, that gym and stuff like that, wasn't it?
It seems to be a gym, a sauna, a fungi farm.
Oh yes, that's right. The fungi farm.
And as Womp looks at the pictures, he realizes that the book in the display case is obviously a reproduction. Doesn't take him a check to roll, he just notices.
I still want that book, but yeah, it's not the one that we're after.
Well, in which case then Deacon will be taking a more in-depth look through the photos and
Is going to bring up the when he was actually having one where he was having issues focusing his eyes.
Yeah, that was sorry. I was thinking I knew there was something else that I was going to have to talk to Bob about, and talk about showing the photos taken with both digital camera and eyes. With, as I say, to me, look out of focus. I don't know if the pictures will then look out of focus, but
it looks like you couldn't actually get the frame in focus of the vault.
Okay, that's suspicious. Due to the fact that you know how technology gets affected by magic.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I know how much you complain about it.
And I'll give you an investigation check on the photos to see if you notice anything useful.
You also going to mention that he was actually knows about Angel Grove.
Yeah, so it's certainly something that Declan will point out the fact that seemingly they connected Declan, or at least someone who looked like Declan, with Angel Grove, and that the tour guide understood that Bolt has a different form that would make it much more interesting for the hunt. Investigation. Is that going to be like a perception, maybe, or?
We'll make it perception, yes.
I mean, not that I want to make it perception, just for the Declan's joke anyway. But yeah, so Declan gets 2 gold on perception. Assuming it was him making the investigation, or was it more?
Well, each of you can make an investigation to see if you notice anything useful.
I mean, Flogger will give it a red hot crack.
Okay,
I'm assuming it probably doesn't apply in this situation, but technically his eyes would normally give him a boost on that sort of stuff, but I think possibly his eyes give him a penalty on this one.
Okay, so your eyes didn't help you on that one. Roll a blank.
But that's right. I think the fact the eyes didn't help me is half the problem.
So what is Flogger's perception?
2 yellow, 1 green, 2 blue, 3 white.
That sounds like a lot of dice.
A lot of dice.
I'm not sure they're all useful dice.
Apparently, the blacks are not particularly, the whites are not particularly useful for you either.
No.
Right.
If he rolls badly on this, does his passenger comes out?
You don't know.
Is it only if I choose to take them? I don't
Let's
know.
not find out.
That does not look good.
So, Womp's result, which is not surprising considering it's Womp, surprising considering the, Flogger, but surprisingly considering the dice pool. The dice pool has basically saying you fail to notice anything useful, but you don't really have anything else. So you may have drifted off in the middle of the presentation.
I'm 1 green and 1 yellow.
1 green, 1 yellow.
Yep.
Can Bolt will also probably roll after Womp.
Okay, so it looks like Womp does notice something. And what is our Bolt's perception?
2 yellow, 4 green. I think I put further one to perception, but I could be wrong.
It was on your to-do list.
Probably.
Either way, you nailed it.
Okay, so
After I pointed it out, there's something wrong with that. And you go, yeah, blah, 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 blah.
okay, you notice that on the pictures of the big bed, the hex bed, there is a similar book to the one in the display case at the end of the bed.
I was just like innocuously sitting right in the open.
Well, it's partly covered, which is why the others didn't notice it.
A bit of a bedside reading for him, huh?
Mm-hmm. Which, if you hadn't have gotten the tour, you wouldn't have noticed.
No. Right. By the sound of it, Womp was able to spot the fake fairly quickly, so therefore, at least if we had been going on without the tour, then we would have at least known immediately that, having fought our way to the library, we're now going to fight our way everywhere else.
The fact that I'm an expert in forbidden knowledge and law.
And you have studied at university.
And I also want the book for myself too. Well, I can now get a copy of it.
Not guaranteed to have all the information in it.
No, but it'll be enough to keep
It may not be a
me
good copy. It may just be the external face, and apparently even the external face was not a good copy. So,
Well, it's technically open to one page, and that page is probably all that's copied.
It might.
okay,
might not
so the
be.
book was open in this location.
Yep. Because, hey, most people who display old books will actually display it showing a page of importance.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, usually that means that if the book is actually just sitting by his bedside, by his bed, then it may not necessarily be as supremely delicate as we first thought we might be dealing with.
Yeah, which is strange.
Or possibly an artifact of the book. But
Cool. If it is something like
there's
that.
there's a reason that our ancient friend wants the book, because it's powerful enough that it can be 1,000 years old and still be in good condition and happy you read.
Because I can't look at it in the astral, because it could be actually, yeah, you might be right. It could actually be an artifact.
But either way, I think it's appropriate that we do have a box with a bit of padding in it to
we do.
prepare it. So, well, I mean, yes, you bought the cuckoo clock box, so probably didn't, but now we've got the images of the copy, so we can make a good fitting container.
Yeah. We could still use the copy. We could use the copy and put it where the original is. That'll give us a little bit more time too.
The copy is in a alarmed display case.
And there something that presumably only the Baron knows that he's got the real copy in his bedroom.
Okay. So have you worked out?
If you took the replica, then that means that all the security staff with their cameras in the library that probably aren't covering the Baron's bedroom would know immediately that, hang on, someone stole the book. Oh my God, we're all in trouble now. But if we can get sneak into the Baron's bedroom and grab the book from there, then we can essentially get in and out without ever being seen or noticed until the Baron comes into the bedroom and says,
"Yep,
those bastards, it's time for the hunt."
So,
and they're not getting a bonus at the end of it.
So you've got a plan since you know the layout of everything? Since you're taking notes of where the camera is?
We have prepared the buildings. We know exactly where the book is. Was there a window that would allow us immediate access into the Baron's room from the outside?
Just checking the map. There is 2 windows on the north and the west.
4 people to fit through?
Possibly, but they may also be reinforced enough to stop a missile strike.
Well, so Deborah was aiming to take photos from each of the windows, and looked at the view and things like that. There were 3 available for each of the rooms.
Okay, as you look at it, you do notice that it is many layers of glass.
Right.
And there is a lattice work of fibre throughout it that doesn't diminish the ability to see through it.
So it might be easy to go through the wall.
And the walls themselves seem to be about 2 feet thick.
Yeah, I'm just saying maybe just easy to go through the bloody wall.
And from looking at it, it seems to be hard granite.
Cool. Let's just take the towel with us. Is Bolt going to actually say any of his observations?
What's that?
Is Bolt going to say any of his observations?
I said punch it.
No. What else you saw in the tour?
Oh, I don't know. I usually rely on my scent though. Unless you're specifically looking for something that I might be able to remember.
Cookie, alcohol, food,
unusual heat.
The elementals.
Yeah. The fact that you noticed the elementals in the fireplace.
And tour guide Sparkly.
Possibly it would come up when Desmond starts thinking about and contemplating whether or not there's room in the chimney for the book. Like obviously he's confident he can get through, but will he be able to get through? But he's carrying a box with the book in it.
You don't want to go through the fire elemental. They probably won't be your friends.
Fire elemental? No, I'm talking about the fireplaces. There's the chimneys.
Yeah, no, but like the
elementals
fireplaces have fire elementals in them.
What was that?
Elementals class as spirits.
They're spirits generally summoned by either a druid or a magician.
Yeah, they do count as spirits in the game too.
Yeah, well, that's what I'll try and get through to Desra and just like, no, you probably don't want to do that because you'll be going into the spirits kind of like domain, or their area, and they'll probably be really pissed at you.
So that means you probably need magic to affect them. Or something of the opposite element.
Or fire resistance. Immunity would be preferable.
No. That's to be defensive against them. No, to talk about attacking them, you either need the opposite element or magic, correct?
If they're not fully manifested, then you need magic. And the ability to hit things in the astral space.
Oh, okay. So I've worked out what I'm going to be doing.
If they manifest, then generally you need magic to affect them. Doesn't need to be astrally aspected.
No. I haven't gone against an elemental. I've only gone against one spirit and I blew the crap out of it.
Well, but let's face it, again, ideally, we wouldn't fight the spirits as much as we wouldn't fight security.
But where is the elementals compared to his bedroom?
They are not in his bedroom.
Yeah, apparently his bedroom doesn't have a fireplace, so...
It's in the on the southern wall and on the southern side of the western wall. Whereas the Baron's quarters is on the northern side of the western wall.
Okay. What has he got in that area then? That's weird.
Well, he doesn't seem to need a
fireplace.
fireplace.
Probably like the smoking room and the dining hall type stuff.
There's also an area where you had issues focusing as well.
Oh, it doesn't go down.
No, it's in the basement.
Oh, okay. I was getting confused. I thought the elementals were in the same areas that you were actually having issues focusing.
The fireplaces start on the ground floor. They do not go lower. And you're sure that's where the elementals are mostly sitting.
So, from the reconnoiter, we're not really setting an effective way into the building aside from the ground floor doors, are we?
You are expecting that the closed off room probably has a hatch in the top of the building.
True. Probably a very big hatch if it's going to fit a vehicle that the troll can get out in.
And it may even just have a open shaft.
So,
you may not actually have a roof over it.
What? So you're thinking of climbing the wall, or climbing the cliff, then climbing the wall, then climbing the castle, because it's at the top entrance, correct?
It is the top of the keep, yes.
Yeah.
Which is the tallest structure
But
in
hey,
the place.
By the time we've climbed the cliff and climbed the wall, then potentially we could get from the top of the wall, might be a hop, skip and a jump to the top of the tower.
Well, you do have yours, the grappling gun thing, which you were wanting to
exactly.
use.
And the grappling gun would probably be the easiest way up onto the roof because you would be coming at it sideways, not up the side of it. Most cameras seem to point along the side, not looking outwards.
Okay, so
they have most of the walls covered.
Where's this room compared to the bedroom?
Okay, so
it was on the 4th floor, so the bedroom was on the 3rd floor, but I can't think whether or not it was in relation which we're in the floor which it was. So.
Okay, so it's technically got a dumbwaiter that allows you to go from the servants' quarters down to the bar, which is opposite the Baron's quarters.
Was the dumbwaiter big enough to fit a person and a box with the book?
You think you could
Or even
squeeze?
just the box with the book?
It could definitely hold the box with the book, and it could definitely hold a person. You don't think it could hold both?
Yeah. Not necessarily at the same time, yeah. Looking at the images and like the photographs that Declan took before we actually got into the castle itself, like when we were going through the courtyard area and things like that, and possibly coming up in the gondola and things. Are there any images of the roof of the castle that we might be able to get a zoom in to get a look at, hang on, where there might be hatches or things like that?
No, because the gondola doesn't reach the height of the keep. The keep itself is the tallest structure.
Yeah.
It's about a story to a story and a half above where the gondola goes to.
Okay, Desrin, would you have any issues suiting up while in the castle?
Looking up?
Mr. Knight.
I've got my arm with me. Couldn't make that with plane.
How, what? Don't you have the ability to summon it to you?
I don't think that'll work. Intercontinental.
He's never tried to summon it at that distance.
Well, go for it!
The only time he can deliberately or even consciously try to summon it is when he's been in deathly danger and, oh my god, protect me, help!
So it actually has to. So it has to. Yeah. So it has to physically get here, aka Iron Man.
He doesn't know. He was scared at the time he summoned it last.
How long have you had that for? And you haven't bothered testing it out?
Because your business.
Because it looks like you're the one who's going to be sneaking down, sneaking into the troll's bedroom, picking up, swapping the book with the box or the medical box, and then sneaking back out again.
Yep. All good.
Until the troll wakes up.
Who's that walking over my bridge?
Hey.
Yeah. So the elf is now Billy Goat.
That's an option. We can distract the troll and potentially a lot of security guards by.
I thought we were going to try to do it really. I thought we were trying to do it really sneaky.
Absolutely.
Because I was just wondering if you could actually suit up, but if you actually have to have your suit nearby, you could probably just summon it now, if possible, and wait for it to come here.
Well, the point is, Walt has never seen Desmond doing anything with the suit except in emergency situations.
And the last time he did it, he went out of sight to people before he did it.
That's right.
Yeah, that was the dragon attack.
But from a player perspective, yes, Desmond has kind of done a little bit of bits and pieces with the suit, but realistically, that's way too scary stuff. He doesn't necessarily want to understand that yet. So, yes, it is certainly not something that would be considered part of any planning process for any of the runs so far.
Yep. Okay, so with that in mind, how do you think you will try to get the book?
I reckon we'll probably have to scale the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Scale the cliff.
Scale the wall.
We're doing this at night, so therefore we're less likely to be seen by the security systems and the patrols going around.
Who has the highest stealth in this party? We're generally a pretty stealthy party, aren't we?
Well, Normally, Shadowstar has the best stealth of the party.
Yeah, she's the one who actually covers us over.
I mean, Bolt's not got bad stealth. He's got two yellow, one green, and 2 blue.
Though Shadowstar can make it so that even if you're looking at her, you can't see her.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Basically, we're used to Shadowstar because my stealth totally sucks.
Well, okay. Jackson is actually quite stealthy, but he's purely. Yeah,
we know you're quite stealthy.
Like in the sense that, like, Jackson tries to get like 2 green, 2 yellow, 3 green.
Well, you're also able to go invisible. That's the other thing.
Well, no, I'm saying Jackson is quite stealthy in a purely physical sense, without using any other capabilities or issues. And so, when you're talking about the idea of Jackson sneaking down the dumb way to sneaking in, going through, he's got confidence in himself doing that simply because of his own skills.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is Bolt can't fit through it.
I
So
could
I'm thinking
stealthily
that
knock the wall down.
I'm thinking that we get up the wall, up the cliff, up the wall, get across onto the roof of the tower, the keep. Hopefully find evidence of a hatch or entryway from the roof.
Martin, would Bolt be able to, like, I don't know, calm or talk to the fire spirit? Is that like a possibility?
It is a possibility, though you do know that most spirits are an extension of the summoner, even though they have characteristics that make them a unique form of intelligence. They are bound to the person who summons them. So
and I'm more earth based rather than fire based. I have, I think, tier 1 in the fire. Is that right?
Yep. Though you do have the potential ability to separate the spirit from its summoner, but in doing so, it would then return home. It wouldn't necessarily help you.
Oh, okay. So in that case, there's another version of Banish.
Did you swap out? Oh no, that's right. You did swap out the fire with Primalist. So I actually don't have the fire attribute anymore.
Not at the moment.
No.
Well, the other thing to remember is, and Bolt talk about it with Womp, or Womp hears about the idea of the conversation. There's also the aspect that whilst Bolt's discussions of such issues, presumably with dog lady down the street, whose name's gone on my head.
Trixie.
Then, I would certainly describe the spirits of the fire and everywhere else as being somewhat distinct entities with a connection with their summoner. But from a hermetic perspective that Womp would done from his academic studies, there's also the interpretation that, well, actually the spirits are manifestations virtually of the magician's own psyche, and what the spirit sees, the magician sees.
And from his divine studies,
conversation would be with the magician, effectively.
And then you have the divine studies he's had, where they are a representation of the powers that be. Which is why if Womp actually summons spirits, they'll most likely be part of his BBC pantheon.
Yeah.
And potentially be actors from various shows he's watched.
So he can summon Giant Kitty, and we'll just ride the Giant Kitty up the road.
Yeah, Kitty Kong, yes. That is the divine beast.
Or has the goodies show up and each of them deal with you in their own way.
Yep. And you've also got Banana Man.
Or it could be a red dwarf showing up.
Sneaky kid. Cool. We could. That's an interesting one.
Or someone
make us all holograms, so we're impervious to physical damage.
Or someone who calls himself the Doctor.
Yeah, that's got timey-wimey stuff issues. Okay. Holy barrier.
Yeah, so the intent will be to get on the roof, hopefully find an entry point from the roof. It would be good to be able to try and do some more scouting, but I don't necessarily see an opportunity or understanding of how we'll be able to get an image of the roof to try and spot the hatch beforehand.
It's a shame you didn't get a stealth drone.
Yes. I don't think there was a stealth drone in the in our boxes, was there?
There was not, though I believe technically Bolt may be able to turn himself into a stealth drone if Bolt actually does transform himself.
I'm sorry, what?
You've got the ability to transform.
Mm-hmm.
I know I have the ability to transform, but I didn't realize I
the
could
ability
turn
to
like...
transform into an Apache helicopter, take out the castle and everything we all find and dandy.
Go, Laserbeak!
Well, you've practiced, but you've never actually done it with a need. So you don't have to roll to turn yourself between wolf and hybrid and human, but you have to roll to turn into something else. And you have to concentrate to maintain that, because if your concentration's broken, you turn back to whatever form you were beforehand.
Do you have the ability to sustain yet?
Even with sustaining, he can lose his spell.
Yeah, but it makes it easier if they got sustained.
It is, but it's also more obvious.
From the rest of the party perspective, the Bolt say that, well, technically I could turn into a bird.
Well, I mean, I could, but they already know that I can, what is it? Transform.
Yeah, but we've never seen you go into... haven't seen your bird form!
You didn't know you could turn into a bird. How could they?
Well, you are a shaman.
Well, I mean, I can if you guys really want me to try. I don't really, I've never been a bird before, so I'm not entirely sure how that works.
Please be married as soon as this book back where you just transform into anything but a bird.
No.
I could be the fly on the wall, literally.
Sharkhead.
Sharkhead, yeah. Sharkhead.
Or
For those who don't get the reference, it's a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Possibly that might be a simpler transformation, because that's still mammal.
I think if you transform into a fly, you'll be a bloody big fly.
But the other concern, there's all, having gone over the shock of the idea that what it could be a bird or something else.
You've seen the geese flying around. You know that the geese are not targeted.
How well would Bolt be able to pick out a hatch or incongruity in the roof of the tower? Because it's not like, unlike a stealth drone, can't take photos and send images that can be reassessed later.
Well, Bolt is quite cunning. Bolt would probably be able to determine fairly easily if something is a entryway. Wouldn't be able to tell you how to open it, but would be able to determine if there's an entryway there.
Or maybe put down some ropes that we can carry over.
Yes, but a bird carrying a rope might be noticed.
True. You need a spatial pocket.
It's also, vehicles are coming as well. Again, but if you could do a pack, that'll be handy, particularly for the later, where we're trying to travel at night type stuff. But that may be more doable for you to actually spot the hatches or things like that.
I'm happy to try.
Happy to see the attempt of, wow, turning yourself into a bird or something different. That'd be impressive to watch.
And just think in a couple...
Bolt can try,
either that or in fact, actually, possibly Desmond does not want to watch on a full stomach.
And the amusing thing is, in a couple of levels, you can actually turn someone else into the animal.
So,
cool.
So you can basically do polymorph on other people,
yes,
and turn them into a gnat or a
Goldfish.
goldfish.
I'm sure that will be useful on the mountainside.
Yeah, you could change them into magic carp.
I was going to say, if you turn them into goldfish, does that mean they've got a mind of flocker?
Quite possibly.
Listen, the goldfish is still probably smarter than Flogger.
That's because it doesn't know what a door is.
So would Bolt like to try to turn into something?
Are we in our room currently?
Well, no, we're in the basement of the church, I would
The
expect.
church, because we know that's
a much safer location.
yeah, it's a no bug area.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah. If we're in a safe location, sure, I can give current turning into something else a go. It might take me a few minutes.
Yeah, they could start to walk and then immediately turns away thinking, no, it's not that I want to look at it.
So I don't know how this entirely works, but I'm not sure what this role is because I haven't done it before. So.
Well.
Oh, that's a lot of dice.
Yeah,
Okay, well, white though, which is good.
Yeah, well, it's not very hard for you because you're not really.
Yeah, it can go horribly wrong.
Yeah, yeah, especially if you roll a lot of black dice, but you didn't.
Okay, so technically you got quite a lot of successes with your transformation. Because the white can either be a success or an advantage.
Cool.
And
You didn't actually. So she doesn't really have anything that can buff her augmentation or augmentation transformation.
She does, but that would have required using a more powerful version of the spell. With this one, it was the simpler version.
Okay, cool.
And yes,
I don't want to blow myself up right now version.
Well, no, you do immense a lot of power because that was a very good, successful spellcast.
yeah, and the benefit you have is it starts off as 1 purple for you, which makes it very easy for you to get it off.
So what do I transform into? Am I turning into a bird or am I turning into...
You turn... What sort of bird do you turn into? What sort of bird has Bolt actually paid attention to?
Let's go for one of the local ones that
I've do know about the geese and how they've
in and around in our hiking trips, and surely there's got to be a bird of prey that lives around here, right?
Okay, so you turn yourself into quite a unique looking falcon.
Wait.
Seems to have some of the same coloration as your wolf form.
So, is that actually fur or feathers?
Well, it is soft as fur.
Fluffy!
And the teeth, the beak and claws are just as sharp.
Ooh. Now, can you actually fly in that, or you just have to walk?
I could probably fly. I've never flown before, so I might have a few splats on the floor, but...
Okay, as you take off in the basement, you hit a wall rather quickly. Because there's not a lot of turning room down here.
Okay, so let's say if we go outside and we'll go, fly like an eagle.
You just walk out of the basement with this bird and everyone's like, where'd the bird come from?
Did anybody in the party, aside probably from Bolt, have enough knowledge of nature to recognise it's a really strange looking eagle or falcon?
Well, Bolt will be the one to tell you.
Yeah, well, exactly. Bolt's not looking at much image of himself.
Do I squawk or do I...
You squawk at this
probably
stage.
Squawk. Yeah.
Of course, you
That's
look
cool.
awesome
Okay.
because you've kept your coloration.
But don't go like,
I think I know how that's
don't see any
happened,
reason
because
why,
you've got-
if people don't have enough knowledge to recognise that the bird looks a bit odd or unusual, particularly since if he's gone for something European, we're not necessarily taken by a error.
It does look like it could exist in the wild. You've just not seen... Desrin has not paid attention to the local wildlife. Neither has Tyler.
No, but I think I know what's caused it.
He's not going to notice.
Yeah, I think I know what's caused it. It's Bolt's ego. So whatever you're going to turn into is going to have your ego attached to it. So it looks good. Because I've seen Bolt's ego and it's scary.
Right, as I said, Desmond's not concerned at all because, hey, a bird's a bird is a bird. You mean there's a difference between a chicken and a hawk? Well, okay.
Yeah, this one will likely rip your eyes out and feast on your heart.
But the point being that, like from a player perspective, hey, a wolf-coloured eagle makes your attention for those who are perceptive enough to notice it. But I'm not certain whether any of the characters are aware enough to notice it. So, yep. So you put him up there. So Bolt jumps on Womp's arm, and
yeah, I'm more curious if Bolt will actually
takes him out to give it a good fly.
I'll have to get ready for the healing spells.
Okay, so once you're taken outside and you take off, it's so much better when you actually get a second beat of your wings.
Oh my god, I can actually fly without hitting a wall.
Yes, because by the time you beat the wings once in the basement, you hit the ceiling.
Oh, ouch. I probably have like one of those, or felt like probably one of those like comedic bruises like appearing on my head.
Well, you probably have a wingspan close to 1.5 meters.
Oh wow, so I'm big bird.
Yeah, you're big.
Falcon, not like peregrine size.
Well, you're big
That's
enough that the all the other birds in the region will give you leeway.
Oh, nice. Sweet.
Whereas if you were, if you had turned yourself into a geese, you might have been subject to mating season.
No, see, being the big peregrine falcon, that sounds like, or the big falcon rather than the peregrine size, that sounds more like my alter ego going, yeah, you know what, you're gonna be this big fucking badass bird, sure.
So, in comparison to most birds of prey you've seen, this one looks like you've hawkified it.
Well, a quick Google search and wedge-tailed eagle reach up to 2.8 metre wingspan and stand up to 1 metre tall.
They do.
Yeah.
She's saying that she's a falcon, not an
Wedge-tailed
eagle,
eagles
which
are
is
about
smaller.
triple the size of the American bald eagle, just to give you an idea of how much bigger Australian eagles are.
Well, that's because the Australian...
Even our coastal eagle, I can't remember its name, it's like...
the sea eagle.
Yeah, the sea eagle, yeah. They're about twice the size of a bald eagle.
Yeah.
Well, considering the amount of animals they have to deal with in Australia that are of unusual size, you can understand why they're big too.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is I look like a peregrine falcon, but wedge-tailed eagle size. Almost.
Well, except you're
at least we're not in
coloration
Australia,
of
because they're even bigger now.
Yeah.
Hey, at least you didn't turn into a pigeon of that size.
Yeah, that would have been a bit awkward.
Yes, you're a pigeon the size of a small dog.
Yes.
Medium-sized dog.
Yes, it means that suddenly there's lots of French after you. Hey, pigeon!
And you are exhilarating in the rush of the air flying above the town.
I forgot that Bolt's a speed freak.
This is almost like the ultimate speed rush for you. Especially as you seem to slow as you go upwards, but as you go down, you get the extreme speed and with the potential of slamming into something before you pull up rush.
This is great. Why haven't I done this before?
So the entire adrenaline thing is going until you realize if you do hit something, you'll probably turn into a human and fall from whatever height you hit something.
Oh, okay, that's
I
awesome.
think we should call
Well,
you George.
and also, just as you're thinking, wow, this feels great, why haven't I done this before? That's when you realise you stop thinking about being an eagle and such, and
I'm like, being an eagle is great. This is fucking awesome. Yeah.
I think the reason why you haven't done it yet is because you haven't worked out the ability of keeping your clothes on.
Well, there's also the thing that in Seattle, it would be a flying meal for the locals.
That too.
well, there's possibly also the fact that your mentor, dog lady down the street, has not encouraged you to take his lead.
No. Well, I mean, we have been practicing with transformations, but I'm not entirely sure what I've been practicing into. It's probably been like goat or cow or something like not dangerous.
Right.
Innocuous animals that could roam the street without being shot at. So, which means no flying animals because people are stupid and will shoot at things in the air, including drones.
Mm-hmm.
Or especially drones.
Especially in the Barrens, because a flying animal is, look, there's food, it delivers.
Bird to you.
Yeah, bird to you. And you manage to fly all the way up to the battlements. You do see quite a few people admiring you as you're flying.
I'll do a couple of like how I've seen like birds do like the sort of hunting circle as I fly like higher, like I'm looking for some like.
Have you got the eyesight of the eagle as well?
You are technically the eagle when you are the eagle.
Oh, cool! So you got awesome eyesight.
And yes, you could literally leave a deposit on people as you go past.
Oh no! Don't.
As M does the circle of hunting prey above the castle.
And yes, you had.
This is to M, Mr. Launcher.
And you had eaten well, so you've definitely got lots of ammunition. So yes, as you get above the top of the tower, you can see the that there is a large opening on the top of the building, and a flimsy-looking canvas cover designed to keep the weather out, but not actually stop you.
Is it like suspiciously easy to get to, or just like because it's on the roof, people are like, no one will get up here?
Well, considering you've just passed through their scanner network, and if you were carrying metal, they probably would have shot you down.
Yeah.
Even if you were mostly animal.
Yeah.
So aren't you glad you're not tagged?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me clip you with that clip.
Oh no! There's one where they work with migrations and all the other things.
Oh no, they wrap it around their leg where they can't take it off.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if he was tagged and going, yeah, okay, there's something that's transmitting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yes, it does look as if you might be able to get through the roof here.
Cool. I'll sort of continue to fly around for like a little bit, so I'm not just go straight back to the town, because that would totally be suspicious, right?
You do see that just on the inside of the tower roof, it has what looks to be electrified wire. So if someone was to say climb over the top of the battlement, they would fall right into an electric fence.
Oh, sweet.
So they do have defenses on the ceiling.
Hmm.
Just not designed for someone who can fly.
So what I'm hearing is that Bolt's getting signed up to do this job. While everyone else acts as distraction.
Yeah, the problem is you can't carry the suitcase up and the thing back because you'll be then targeted from a ground to air missile.
Yeah. It was
Well, admittedly, Declan's got me thinking that, hang on, what's the value of that success in the hunt again? Bolts and run fast away from the original shot and then turn into other animals and make it very hard to track it down.
And also the ability to take out the hunter. Of all the people he's hunted, Bolt would be the most challenging target. He wouldn't try hunting Flogger because he doesn't know who Flogger is.
No.
Well,
The thing is,
he doesn't want to see what Flogger is.
He thinks he knows what Bolt is, but Bolt has surprises up his sleeves.
Just wait until you get into your full-blown power.
Well, you basically spare your special abilities until you need them.
Hmm. Yeah.
You're lethal enough without them.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so yes, you have made it all the way up to the roof and back, and you can tell them the wonderful news. There is a way in.
Okay, so how do we disable the electric fence? It was barbed wire as well, correct?
It is a wire electric fence.
So we couldn't just throw something non-conductive over the top of it?
By the time you get it up there, you might be in trouble.
So this, the electric fence is effectively joining the top of the wall and the top of the tower.
It's only it's over the battlement. So as soon as you climb off the battlement, you're standing in the electrified field. So it's sitting on the very top of the roof.
Yep.
But it's not.
And it connects to the battlements, or
if you throw a grappling hook up and say your grappling hook is a metal cable, you'll most likely electrify yourself before you climb.
okay.
But if you were to just free climb the outside, you could stand up on the battlement without worrying about the electric fence until you stepped off the battlement.
Yeah.
Bolt excitedly told everyone about being able to get in, and it's just like, don't worry guys, you can transform too, right?
Not yet.
And
Is the electric fence part of the canvas top?
it does not.
We could always throw Desmond.
Because we haven't got the map of the peaks around, but I seem to recall that the distance between the top of the wall and the tower was not that great.
It was not that great, no.
So, and there's the inner wall was actually the same height or close to the height of the top of the roof of the keep.
No, the inner wall was not as tall. It was probably about half the height of the tower.
Okay, right.
But the inner wall was about twice to 3 times the height of the outer wall.
Okay.
So you could literally jump over the outer wall yourself.
Oh, okay. I thought in my head that it was the outer wall was around the 3 metre mark and the inner wall was at least 10 to 15. But
that is correct. But you are good enough to be able to scale a 3 metre wall.
yes. Yeah, Desmond could certainly parkour over a 3 metre wall, no problem. Yes.
That's why I said you could easily make it over, but the others would not.
Yeah.
Flogger could.
Yeah, sorry. When you were saying you, I was half thinking of me as a player. I was thinking, okay, you can't even go higher. Yeah, I'm just having a look at the present list, and unfortunately, I'm not seeing any electric fence disablers.
And if Bolt were to spend some XP, Bolt could literally take gear with Bolt. So you'd particularly want to get the characteristic retention with your take gear.
So which side of the keep is the canvas roof?
The canvas roof faces the courtyard. So if you would probably say it is that part.
That sort of area there, yeah, okay. Don't walk in it.
Basically, it's the one that was least handy to throw a grappling hook onto from the wall behind it.
Yeah.
Why would it be there, like, just out of curiosity?
Because it is to fly away from the town below, so he doesn't exit over the town.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like an escape hatch or escape.
It is literally it is literally his escape vehicle.
Oh.
Or his personal transport, so the villagers don't see him coming and going.
As far as the village is concerned, he never leaves the castle effectively these days.
But basically, we found our way out of the town.
Yeah.
We take his personal vehicle.
Well, we don't know what the personal vehicle is and how much it can carry, but obviously it can carry
at
him.
least a troll.
That's right, but that's just it. You can carry a big troll. That doesn't necessarily mean you can carry 2 trolls, a large humanoid, and 3 elves.
So how does Empowered Holy work?
Empowered Holy will add your magic rating in Holy.
Yeah, so it costs me a strain to add that to it. And then if I'm doing for Augment Holy Barrier, is that another strain?
We'll look at that between sessions.
Yep.
Because we're getting close to end of game and I don't want to spend the next 10 minutes discussing that.
Okay, so we've got next to the and/or exit point on the roof there. Is that actually also then effectively over the main entranceway to the keep?
That is over the main entranceway to the keep.
Yeah.
And so literally Bolt can technically take a bunch of gear with him as long as he can carry it in the form before he changes.
Well, that's how we get the stuff in and out.
If a taser was fired into the electric fence, would that potentially short-circuit the fence?
Has a good chance of short-circuiting it, as does just tossing a steel rod.
Yeah, but then you also alert security.
Either one. You just have to complete the circuit.
It's not a preferred option, but I was just looking at what options we do have.
So if you complete the circuit or taser it, it will short it out, as that's what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
So, anyone want for some roast geese?
And you would also see that it is slightly off the ground, so that if the water pools on the roof, it won't actually set off the electrified fence.
Okay, yep. How big a bird can Bolt turn into?
Technically, Bolt can, with spells Bolt has learned, turn into a bird the size of a Silhouette 2 creature. No, Silhouette 1 creature.
Yeah.
So it can literally turn into a full-size wedge-tail eagle.
Okay, so but not actually necessarily big and strong enough to carry a person, like
not
an
yet.
elf.
Given a little more practice, could probably learn to turn something into a silhouette size 2.
Yeah.
Which means could turn something in...
Like I said, I'm just thinking about the idea of, well, yeah, if we climb up, like not necessarily requiring Bolt to actually carry all the way up from the village up or things like that. It's a case of, yeah, if we were to climb the cliff, get onto the walls, get onto the internal wall, and then we're a few metres below the level of the roof, and obviously a few metres away from the canvas. But Bolt would be big enough to actually carry Desmond or someone like that last few metres, would he?
Would not be able to, but would be able to secure a grappling hook or something like that safely. And could technically fly to a location, transform, drop a rope down to you. That's assuming Bolt's happy to spend 10 points on the 2 powers that he needs for his transform to do that.
I mean, that sounds like a waste of XP, and hopefully that sounded very sarcastic.
It just occurred to me, we've got the electric covering on the roof. Doesn't cover the canvas area.
It does not.
If we were to go across to, like, effectively, rather than trying to get from the internal wall straight onto the closest point of the tower, or the thing, but if we actually effectively fired the grapple from the middle tower in the northern wall, is there likely to be a shot where we can effectively fire the grapple across and get a secure point that would be under, or like not getting off the electric tank?
It would be quite easy to do that, especially if you fired it from the tower.
Yeah.
So if someone got up on top of 12 and fired the grappling hook the other way, you would definitely have no problem.
Yep. So,
just giving you the best bang for your buck for that.
Yeah, no, that's right. It certainly Desmond is, not necessarily entirely thinking about the magical opportunities with the eagle in that sense. So he's more thinking, hang on, he's definitely thinking the physical tech. So he's looking at the idea of, okay, we can get to the top of the middle tower, and then we've got a clean shot across to the keep without the electric fence, and then...
And 9A, B, and C are the weapon emplacements.
Yep.
Number 5 is where the gondola comes in.
Number 5.
Which is the bottom left tower.
Oh, yep. Okay.
And so where you see 8B, that's the tunnel you went through to get to the actual tower itself. So 7 is a garden. You would have taken a path through the garden, through the wall, and then roughly where it's highlighted would have been where you had gone into the tower.
Okay, yeah. So we're not like the trail is actually the roadway going up to 8A type stuff. So, but Desmond's more thinking at the moment that we can climb up the wall up near effectively number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Get up the wall on the northern, either on the western side and then move around on top of the wall, but that goes past the gunning placement at 9B, or going under, like on the ground beside it and go up the northern wall to the middle tower.
You're better off, so from your tactical position, you'd want to climb the wall just above 1 because it's not in sight of any of the gondola or the turrets. Then you would you would hug the wall until you get between the 2 9s where the 3 is, and climb the middle 9 by the side of the 3, so it's outside of the emplacements.
Using that side to actually provide coverage for the 9B tower.
Yep. Because most of the cameras are on the towers with the weapons.
Yeah.
Because if they can't see you with the weapon, then the camera is not as important.
Yeah. And presumably the cameras are mostly covering outwards at that point, so therefore when we're actually at the top of Tower 9 and shooting across to the Keep 12, where, whilst obviously there's probably going to be some coverage in the area, it's not necessarily going to be the most regularly monitored camera coverage that would be from the gun towers.
Well, that's why you would suspect that shooting down from 12 to 9 would be less likely to trigger their motion sensors.
Yeah.
Because if you were to fire up, you'd probably get past the ceiling of the keep and potentially trigger sensors by metal being above the keep.
So okay, even though the thought of Ultra's Eagle could carry the grappling gun to the top of 12, that would then also run the risk of flying around the keep with metal.
No, if he has the transform, gain the 2 enhancements of the spell, it would be completely organic until Bolt transforms back into a person.
Because these are the ones I've been waiting for to get to be able to transform with my clothing. And
that is correct.
Right, Mom?
These are the ones that keep your clothing and anything you're carrying.
Yeah.
But the point is, from what Bolt has explained about his power so far, Devlin's got no reason to think, because obviously when he did the demonstration of turning into an eagle, I'm assuming his clothing and everything else dropped on the floor in the basement.
At that stage it did, because Bolt was just practicing with bird form. It's a bit harder to transform with gear.
Yeah, so they got that. From Devlin's perspective of the current capability, the Bolt would have to carry the grappling gun after transforming, which would likely set off the sensors in there. So that's why, from Devlin's perspective, he'd definitely be talking about firing the grapple gun from 9 to 12, unless Bolt speaks up and says, well, hang on, maybe I can get the grappling gun coming the other way. So, but again, Devlin's got no calculations to that at the present time.
I mean, like, I could probably talk about how Trixie has been trying to slowly teach me how to
keep your pants
transform. Yeah, to transform while keeping clothing intact. I'm just not very good at it yet.
But there's nothing like the incentive to survive that teaches you how to do things.
Yeah, there's nothing like not dying being a great incentive.
But Declan would say, so it's not something you've ever tested at all before.
In a controlled environment, as it's been slowly testing it, or slowly like getting used to trying to do it.
But you've been paranoid about how hard it might be that you hadn't actually tried it in a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
So Declan's main hesitation would be, whilst shooting the grappling gun from 12 to 9 would certainly be a more secure option, he's not certain that it's worth the additional risk compared to 9 to 12, compared to an unknown attempt at doing something that you've never really successfully done before.
I mean, how many days have we got? in.
Well, we've got time. We can keep playing, practicing. Absolutely.
So
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I could practice.
When's the next moonless night?
well, you could technically do a moon chart for 2051. There are moon charts that you can do that for.
Yeah, but isn't there these magical fangle thing that might have affected the moon in Shadowrun?
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I can do a quick Google. It's a new moon on the 11th, which is tomorrow night, I believe. Tuesday the 11th.
Okay, so you're actually very because it's in April. The next full moon is on the. So the next new moon is on the 25th of April, and you're currently the 22nd. So you're very close to a new moon.
Yep, so that's probably the best.
So we've got like 4 days to practice.
You do have three days to practice.
It's all right. You got someone who can stitch you up. But I can't stitch you up mentally.
Because you're on the you're just on the Monday, and it's on the Thursday. You have to be ready by.
Okay. You obviously got a different chart to what that I've pulled up for mine, but yeah.
So mine is fullmoonology.com, and it's the full moon calendar for 2051.
All good. Okay. Mine's something called moongiant.com. So I'm happy to go with yours because that worked better for our situation. So.
Well, I have a Shadowrun folder full of stuff.
At the end of the session, I want Oxford references about all websites used in the session.
Unfortunately, I need Ariadne to help with that because I can't do referencing like anything.
Because Martin's site has come up with a better date for our purposes, we definitely go with that one. Mine was the other way round. And I'd be fighting harder.
So it's actually referred to as the pink moon.
Pink moon.
Yep.
Well, that's a.
So the February moon was the snow moon. The March moon was the worm moon.
Second new moon for the month, I'm assuming.
Second full moon of spring.
Okay.
I thought blue moon is the second full moon in a month. A pink moon is the way the sun is in conjunction to being. I think
it's the name of the moon in April.
Yeah, that's weird. It's so you got two different types.
So using this calendar system, they've named each full moon separately.
Actually,
as a new moon.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Though they do say full moon actually. Though it says the new moon will start the lunar cycle for the so actually on the 25th is the full moon, not the new moon. So that is the subtext as I read through it. So you're 3 days away from the brightest night. Of course you can see everything you're doing so much clearer.
Yes. And unfortunately that aligned with my image, the site that I pulled up.
So they use the same information, isn't that?
Yeah, except they called it different.
Yeah.
We're technically tonight.
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to be a pretty it's a super bright moon tonight. In our real life.
Yeah, I know it's supposed to. Okay, I don't think we want to stay around here for another month or whatever.
It would be
no, 2 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
I think they'll go, why the hell are they still here?
Well, a member of the party really likes hiking and climbing. Actually,
I guess the question is also, what's the weather report? Because hey, if we're expecting a cloudy night, then it's not quite so bad as the full moon.
Well, I would
I'd
say
like accurate Google forecast for 2051 in Germany, thank you.
I will say that in a 2 days it will be overcast with a thunderstorm.
Okay.
Excellent climbing weather, let's do it.
Yeah, I know you like a challenge.
And I'm sure standing on top of a tower holding a metal grappling hook will not trigger a lightning strike whatsoever.
Also, being a bird in a thunderstorm, what could possibly go wrong?
We can be an amateur bird for the flying through thunderstorm. All good.
Probably not because it's not
Oh,
grounded,
what's
so
this,
it's not
what's this
really-
roast chicken on the
No,
floor?
when on
Oh,
land,
no.
it'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
But it's just the winds would be less helpful.
It's alright. Bolts in bird form. And,
On the black side,
and
they get a thunderstorm.
That is true.
yep, and Desmond could work out how long it takes for his suit to get to him while he's plummeting.
Okay, so that being 10:30 sounds like a good point to stop tonight,
Yeah.
as we'll have time to get characters updated for next session.
Yeah, unfortunately
Yeah.
I won't be able to make it because I'm going to be working.
Oh, does this mean if it's the last 2 minutes of the game, I count as attending to this game? 'Cause
Would you like to?
I mean, hey, that
Yeah.
works.
Shadow's been so stealthy the entire way. She's actually still in the castle as we speak.
While Desmond and Bolt are doing the diversion, I suggest that Shadow just walks through the front door, walks past all the security, picks up the book that's in the 12th bedroom,
She can,
and then leaves.
because she's got mask.
I know.
And she's got the invisibility.
They figured out that the book wasn't actually in a secure container. It was
Yeah,
just
right.
sitting.
I knew that all along. In my notes, there's a big thing going, it's not in the secure container, it's going to be somewhere else.
It's basically when Desmond goes, say, oh, there's an area that I can't focus on. I go, ooh, that sounds like a good spot to put something that's not to be.
And now we actually know the book is the Baron's Diary. Dear Diary, today my hunt actually survived 5 hours. It was thrilling to hunt them down.
Okay. See, that's the real problem we're going to face is because we're going to wait a few days for it to be a nice cloudy night and things like that, and we've got time to practice.
I need to get a garbage bag as well.
Aaron finished his bedtime reading then and put the book back in the secure vault we never actually saw.
I was going to say, it's more along the lines of, Dear Diary, the British people still don't take me seriously, even though I own every single one of them. So where's he keeping it when he's not
Next to his
writing it?
bed.
Just next to his bed.
At the moment, he's reading it, so it's at the base of his bed.
So it's
Diary.
not
The
secured at
pilot
all.
doesn't know. This is actually my diary. The book they're actually after is actually in the stairs.
It's in the room under the stairs.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you guys got it, right?
But yeah, your diary, this is my diary. The real book you're looking for, I returned that months ago.
I gave it back to the library because the overdue fees were just enormous.
I paid all of these.
Or even worse, it's sitting at the end stage of the test for someone to challenge him so they can return the book.
So who's challenging you?
Well, we already know how someone can cheat.
Dear Diary, today I finally paid off those overdue fees for the stupid book. Now I can get back to the project that'll be done in about 5 years' time.
Yeah, it's that guy. The project in the upstairs room that I've been meaning to finish off for minutes.
My calf is a troll.
Apparently a thunderstorm coming in a couple of nights. I really better get that canvas fixed.
Oh yeah, you'll need to lock down the hatches and that because of the storm.
I was going to say, is there a big storm due?
Yes, they have notes that there's a big storm due in 2 nights away.
Don't worry, I'll be watching the sessions before next game, making sure I've got it all down.
But in fact, that came up towards the end when we were thinking about, okay, do we happen to have a new moon coming up that'll make it a nice moonless night? And
it turned out it wasn't a new moon, it was a full moon.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm maxed out on stealth, right?
Yeah, no, that's why I'm saying you can actually just wander up there. And
Yeah.
You could literally have picked it up in the time they've been arguing this.
Yeah, you could have actually gone and done that.
Yeah. So I'll listen to the session before game, write Mark a little journal note from Shadow. Dear Shadow, you're so good at what you do. While the others were arguing over how to do the job, and then you get one of those montage scenes from Despicable Me where the villain just walks in and then walks out to the tune of...
Yeah, but you don't want it from the new Minions movie.
No. I'll take it from the new one with Gary Elwes in it.
But the thing is, he ends up triggering the alarm.
On the tour?
Sorry, what was that?
There's a reason there was only 3 people on the tour.
Oh, right.
Alan, Desmond, and Bolt were the distraction while Shadow was going in there, selected the book.
Yeah, because
that was the plan.
Because you
last session.
No, the thing is, the reason why no one noticed you because you were on the trip.
I was and wasn't. The plan was to just repeat the publishing deal.
Yeah, we had our doubts that something that valuable you would actually either keep it open, or if it is that old that it actually may be fragile and you wouldn't really have...
Yeah, the view was it was going to be very fragile or that it wasn't going to be in the room.
Well, the fact that he's got it next to
But it
his
was part of the plan that Shadow could have grabbed it if it could have been grabbed safely. But yes.
Oh, and then you also worked out that you were going through a full security unit that was actually monitoring exactly what you were bringing on and what you were taking off.
Which would have been the hard one to get through.
Yeah,
because even with Mask, he can come up on some of those scanners.
Yeah, but I know that a certain Shadow can actually go past that.
Well, there's also, of course, the element of apparently the tour guide is actually active and was able to spot bulk aura, so therefore could definitely spot the aura of a magic spell.
Okay.
Yes and no. Mask, I believe you have to be very good at observation or good at mask to see somebody else mask.
My plan was to go back to see what the rules were on the 2 of them, the 2 spells that I used. But there was an enhance, so basically Womp did an enhance on it, which basically made it an automatic success of some sort.
No, I enhanced your ability.
Yeah.
So I made you a lot able to cast it a lot easier.
I can't remember the exact details. That's why I was going to go back.
Well, it's one of the things that, and the Genesys system might make it different from the Shadowrun system. But certainly in the Shadowrun system, you effectively had 2 different mask spells.
Yeah.
One which was the mask that would be covering you from any living object, like living eyes, and a physical mask that would actually also cover you against cameras and electronic stuff.
Yep, and then I also used a duplicate spell.
Both options shine up like a bonfire in the astral space. Because there's still a spell in the astral. So again, benefit rules might work differently, but yeah.
I'll have to go back and check it because there was another aspect to it in.
The problem with that is in the books, you had a lot of people able to mask their abilities in the astral as well.
That was because they were exceptionally powerful magicians who'd been training and in the original, like in the Shadowrun rules, they were all known as initiates, who had metamagical power much beyond the spell itself.
It occurs to me, Martin, that you're listening to us going back and forth while you remember quite rightly what the deal is. Do you remember quite rightly what the deal is?
Yes, you potentially have the ability to learn how to mask even from astral sight.
Okay.
Yeah. I know Fey Touch goes.
And can I still use that duplicate spell to pretend there's a copy of the book still in the, like we did at the publishing house?
You can. You just have to sustain your illusion while you create the other one.
Okay.
And then you basically just.
But I had done that before.
The other thing that we're theorizing is that the book actually may be an artifact.
Oh, we know the book is an artifact.
No, but it may be a magical artifact, so it actually may have its own aura.
Yeah.
So you can make it look physical, but anyone with magic, anyone who then looks in the astral notices.
I didn't
you
think
can't.
about that.
You can't. Yeah, you at the moment you don't have the ability
It
to
is a
duplicate.
magical artifact.
Well, that's what we suspect you the fact that he's leaving it around as a on a coffee table type
something
thing.
that was said last session confirmed it was magical artifact, or at least in my mind. Confirmed it, if not.
Well, I had a
confirmed it in
suspicion it was a magical tomb due to the fact that how old it is and the subject matter.
Well, Martin did point out it could be that it's been rewritten every 100 years or so, a couple hundred years.
Because books that are considered the content thousands of years old are generally only hundreds of years old.
So,
But we also,
anyway,
since it's going to be stormy, we need to bring a garbage bag.
a garbage bag to put the book in.
Yeah, to make it waterproof.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay,
we'll
so
cover all of that next session.
I'm going to
sure.
go put
End
into
credits.
end credits, and then we can tell you some other parts.
Mm.